some security concerns, and I have a very big question for you, and you. By the way, get onto Facebook right now, and also on X or Twitter. That's at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. That's the handle to follow, and also get to watch us, right here in the studio. You get to see me, in all my splendor. No splendor. It's just regular Joe trying to make things work by conversations. Anywho, so this morning we're talking about security concerns in Rivers State. My question to you is this: why are gangs springing up in rural areas in Rivers State? Now, rule of thumb is when you have more people, the chances of having more criminal elements increases. Rule of thumb. It's kind of like if you have 10,000 people in a particular area, you're more likely to have somebody who's going to only like beans as opposed to maybe having boiled and fish, which is regular meal every other day. Right? But when you have a smaller sample size, the frequency of that particular subset you're looking for reduces. So in a big city like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, maybe Uyo, Benin, for example, it is expected that, because you have a lot of people who have converged to one locale, one region, you are going to find more people who are going to be doing things against societal norm or order. You're going to have more pickpockets. You're going to have more people who are probably going to be interested in doing advanced fee fraud, aka 419. You're also going to have people who are going to try and con you on the street. You're also going to have a lot more people who will be engaged in armed robbery or the like, in this heavily populated area. But there are always exceptions to the norm, and maybe, just maybe, this is the case in Rivers State. Over the weekend, or just before the weekend, last week, the police said it was unaware of any levy imposed on any community in Ahoda West local government area by suspected cultists. Let's call them gangs, because when you mention cultists, you give them a little bit too much of a credence. They are gangs, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they basically are. They are gangs. Right now, so an interested party, a concerned person from that area, said that these gang members have demanded as much as 10 million naira as security levy. And then some people were already trying to raise the money. Some were even trying to, levy themselves, to get money so they can move, into this place and give these individuals this morning. But before I open the phone lines, let me tell you about a small community in Mexico that is, Charan. I don't know if you've ever heard of this little town, this small place, Charan. Now, about a decade or so ago, this small town, was dealing with gang violence like most of Mexico is dealing with. Drugs, the drug cartels, whenever there's some business that's thriving, they come over and try to take the place over. So similarly, the way the mafia operates in both in European cities like in Sicily, in Italy, and also on the American continent, but North and South America, you have the mafias, in these places. But this city, led by women, some years ago, had an uprising, said enough is enough, we can't do this anymore. They chased away the local government authorities, self-governed themselves. They self-governed, the place from, women and the young people who were the victims there. And then they started to take training. Now, it will interest you, in the first 3 years of their, in quotes, uprising against militia and gang members, not a single murder or kidnapping was recorded in that place. It was the anomaly. It's a small community. So they knew themselves. Now, let's juxtapose it to the communities around Rivers State and once again ask ourselves this question. Why, oh why, are these gangs propping up in our rural areas?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
join us in this conversation. The numbers to call 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. There's a call screener. Please do indulge the call screener. Drop your name, your location, and we have a great conversation with you. Once again, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007. Then WhatsApp and Telegram available on 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. Once again, if you get onto social media, Facebook and X, that's Twitter for the rest of you, it is at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. That's where you find us. That's where the handle is on, and that's where there's a post. We're streaming live and you can join in the conversation. Looking at security concerns, question is, why are these gangs springing up in rural areas in Rivers State? What exactly is the driving force? More importantly, how do we stem the tide? Well, we have Zion on the line this morning. Zion is my first caller. Zion is speaking to us from GRA. Good morning to you, Zion.
Morning to you, Jude. It narrows down to the community leadership. There are a lot of money that goes to communities, especially in the Niger Delta region. These are what many people are not aware. Now, to all charge of that money, gangs struggle because the leadership are so corrupt. The CDC, the paramount ruler, the regency, a lot of them are corrupt. When opportunity comes, they don't spread the opportunity. They hijack the opportunity. And this gang say, look, we are tired. For once, we could come together, fight these people, collect our own share.
Fight the people by killing the people?
They are leaders. See, are you new in the Niger region?
But Zion.
2022, 2001, 2002, what were the issues in Kakama, Puguma, and the rest of them? What was the issue? Was it not oil? Was it not opportunities like this? They are listening. They can also call. If I'm saying lie or if I'm lying against millions listening, let them come and refute it. Most of these communities in the riverine areas, what brought about gun struggles, armed struggles? Is it not because of the ships to take away the opportunities, the oil company opportunities and the rest of it? But the only way we can deal with this issue, it is the community people. Community people, what can we do?
Zion, because of time, let me quickly ask this so we can get to messages that have come in. Now, I agree with you that there's some history with how the leadership, particularly at the communal level, the grassroots level, has led to some of these, arms deals and arms struggles in this area. But we're talking about people who are in the community, from the community, not attacking members of the community.
It is because of the leadership. That's something I'm telling you.
So they are justified. You are saying that they're justified.
I'm coming. I have no much time to spend here. If the community head has failed, these are the things you will see. In my community, I took up that responsibility upon myself. There will not be cultism in my community in Bayelsa State. Go and ask. I can give you that as well and verify. The day you mention you are a cultist, we are not going to hold you alone. We will hold your parents. And the day you kidnap anybody, who you kidnap, say your papa dead here. We also kidnap your papa.
All right, thank you very much. Zion can be, promoting kidnap. But yeah, I think I understand the narrative, kind of like the eye for an eye type of thing. Edjo Innocent on Facebook is saying, it's everywhere. Anambra State seems to be the scariest area in the southeast right now. Well, we don't know much about Anambra State. I won't venture in there because I don't have any information regarding what's going on in Anambra State. But yes, I've been hearing and reading about some reports, particularly in the past 48 hours. But we'll stick to Inside Rivers this morning. And maybe there are similarities between what's going on here and also what's going on in Anambra. What's your take? What exactly is bringing up this gang uprising. Why they're so brazen these days, particularly in the rural areas? Once again, it's a bit of an anomaly, would you say? Hello, Pasako returns. And if you just tuned in, well, you haven't missed much. I'll run through the intro one more time. Now, this morning, Inside Rivers, we're taking a look at security concerns and for particular nature of our rural communities, where we like to get our fish, our palm wines, our pepper, our cucumbers, and our ugu leaves. You would be surprised how much ugu leaf tends to be brought into Port Harcourt every morning between 4:30 a.m. and 6 a.m. How do I know this? Because I've taken walks early in the morning to Choba Junction when these people are dropping their goods, and I'm surprised. You see a whole bus filled with nothing but ugu leaves, all coming from the communities. It's great, by the way. But right now, particularly in the Ahoda region, there's a big problem. And that problem is that of gangsters. Yes. Once again, when you make mention of them as cults, I think you give them a bit too much, severity. They're gangsters. I'm not saying they should be treated with kids' glove. It's as bad because their actions and activities are very reminiscent of what used to happen and maybe what some would still say happens in parts of Italy where you have the mafia and also in organized crime regions of America, both North and South America. Now, I did share a story earlier on that a small community, a small village in Mexico, Charan, decided years ago, just about 12 years ago, to say, look, we will not tolerate this behavior anymore. That women will be murdered, raped, killed, whatever, assaulted, because that place, particularly because of its rich wildlife reserve, was being used to traffic both weapons, drugs, and the lucrative business of logging. Big trees abound in the forest in that area. So the organized crime members came there and tried to overrun the town. Eventually, the women said, no, can't do this. We will not take it any longer. Women, by the way, let me repeat it again. It was the women in that community that stood up and said, we're tired. Our sons have been taken. Our daughters have been assaulted. And then they mounted a roadblock when these groups were coming through and they carried out the citizens' arrest. Now, this population is not more than 20,000 strong back then. But because they were all united in one voice, they refused the gang members from leaving the community that day. And save the elders and the smart, intelligent, vocal people, the community that day were ready to burn those criminals. But saner heads prevailed. Now, they chased away the corrupt officials. And what you now have right now is men and women who are training in military drills who are now securing and governing themselves. Don't take my word for it. Go online, read about Charan. Cheran. It's a wonderful story. An anomaly, particularly because of the thriving nature of gun violence, of kidnapping, of drug in the city, or rather the cities in Mexico. But if we come back and look at our own Niger Delta, River State in particular, there's been a history of kidnapping, militancy, people going to the creeks, the government chasing them down, some peace in the community, some community members run away, and then they come back after a while, all is well, nice and plumb. But by and large, the larger crimes or the more frequent crimes get to be committed within the cities. Take, for example, Port Harcourt. You're more likely to get to hear one chance, pickpocketing, con artists, armed robbery, car snatching within Port Harcourt metropolis, as opposed to, I don't know, maybe John Krama, or maybe if you get to Bonima, for example, it's going to be less because of the smaller sample size. But why then are these groups, these gangs, springing up? Last week, everybody's been all emotive about the killing of SP Agbashim. It's now in full gear, investigations, pursuits of these individuals, these criminals. So what exactly led them to this point? And why are they coming for our rural communities? We have grandmothers, aged men in those places. So what exactly is making them go there? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Stimulating and insightful conversations. Hello, Port Harcourt. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
As always, I'd like to encourage you, turn down the volume of your radio set, refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments, and if you didn't see it or hear it, please do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims. Very important because of the nature of what we do here. And please do not make inciting statements. We want to hear facts, want to hear your opinions, want to hear your views, but they must be always, emphasis on always, they must be aired with a measure of civility. Now, numbers to call: 08179230003, 08179230007. Once again, 08179230003, 08179230007. There's a call screener. Please be advised and let the person have your details, and we can have a conversation with you when you get patched through to us here in the studio. And then take a stroll down the social media lane where you have Facebook and X, Twitter, by the way. It is at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. And we'll start off with Facebook, where Dr. Prince on Facebook says, good morning. The main reason why these gangs are springing up and thriving in the rural areas of Rivers State is because of the engagement of these boys and the compromising attitudes of both community, traditional, political, and security leaders who either feel secured or threatened by these gang members. Until compromise and engagement of these boys dealt with, the experience would be worse by the day. Henry Enoch says they have no particular lawful reason. They are deviants with criminal mindsets who are afraid to operate in the open, but subsequently find the courage to operate openly due to the support they got from local kings and leaders who used them to unleash mayhem on people to pursue their personal goals. That's from Henry. That's on Facebook. Keep those comments coming. And also on Twitter, at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us. On X, that's Twitter, by the way. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us. And we'd like to have you join the conversation. On WhatsApp, Adaya says, it is such a pity how people proudly and openly tell people they are cult members. The history of cultism comes from helpless people who are being oppressed, so they tend to form groups, e.g. Zulu Black Panthers, etc. But here it's just outright stupidity. Even the chiefs and political leaders are into those groups. They should hurt themselves because the government support it. Even the police aid and abate it. I just pity our local village people who are living with these people and will not learn. That's from Adaya. Adaya, thank you very much. All right, moving on. More messages coming through. 0809 030 6416, 0809 030 6416. Now, the issue of local gangs, some people have a tendency to be cowards and bullies. If they feel you won't resist or stand up for yourself, they see you as an easy target and attack you. But if they see who will resist strongly, they back off. Some of these communities have thieves and interlopers occupying the thrones, so they let everything go haywire. A rightful king or queen usually has deep love for his or her people, so will think twice before selling their own people out. Interesting. Some are the rightful occupants, but they are weak, inexperienced, and afraid, so they give their power away and take advice from selfish people, meaning they make horrible decisions that affect everyone in their community negatively. So, selfish people. Remember about, was it 2 months ago or 3, when we had this conversation about, how much power, should these local leaders, talking about CDC chairman, the traditional rulers be given so that maybe they can better, monitor and then keep the peace in those areas. The biggest challenge for these rural areas has to be policing. Obviously, you don't have 20,000 policemen, in Ahoda, for example, or you don't have, 2,000 policemen. I don't know. Let me not give any number. The point is, is effective policing. That's why, these areas, call for a systemic change, if I may say so. Not basically a structural change, a systemic change, how it can be improved upon. But now it's a big problem. This idea that these individuals now come out brazenly and tell the people, right? Once again, the police say they are not aware, right? And so if you're within that area, talking about Ahoda, the PRO specifically said, look, make a formal complaint, all right? You come on air and say, oh, this is what happened. The police doesn't know. So make a formal complaint. Let it be in pen and paper, black and white, so that all can see. Let posterity, be reminded that at one point in time, this was logged and then sent for treatment. And then let's have the response. Because what we got to find out last week, the information that was passed on, and thankfully the police PRO responded to that, once again, sparks of organized crime. It's very similar to what the mafia does in North or South America, and even in Europe, particularly in Italy. Protection money. So you're basically paying someone not to beat you. And I think I couldn't agree any more or less with the last comment I read on WhatsApp. That's what bullies do. That's exactly what bullies do. Give me your sweet so that I won't beat you. That's not protection. That's extortion. What does Jude know? 017-923-0003. 0817-923-0007. 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0007. There's a call screener. I've gotten to see some numbers pop in and then cut off. If there's any challenge, please, you can also use 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0002. Please, right? Let's have a conversation. Question is this morning, why are gangs springing up in rural areas in River State? All right, at Nigeria Info PH, is where you find us on Facebook and X. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. All right, so getting straight to Facebook. Otong says, if you want to kill a tree, start from the roots. The big boys in government are equally engaged in this act. Even though you are arrested, the big boys will still go and bail them. All right. Basically says, I am in shame. Otong. Anyway. More messages coming through now. Right, WhatsApp 009-030-6416. 009-030-6416. Good morning. One of the reasons why you have these groups coming through at the urban areas is because the presence of government is not felt. Many of these people see themselves as alone, and unfortunately over the years, particularly in the Niger Delta, they see themselves going up against the government every day. Not even the companies, it's the government that they see as the reason why they are in such situations. And when people have no hope, they resort to anything that can give them a sense of belonging. Many of these young men who are in these groups or in this gang, if you check, Jude, are either homeless, motherless, or fatherless. Solomon is in Alu. Solomon, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is King Solomon. I live in Alu, but I am from Andon.
Okay.
This issue of these boys, it's not a matter of the chief in the village or people compromising. The truth is that there is no security. The government is not security conscious because the governors, the local government chairmen, the councillors are involved in this act. So these ordinary people in the village, they are not protected. These boys come with guns. So by the time they put the gun on your neck, there is nothing you can do. The only choice you have is to compromise. Because the government is not on ground, the government doesn't care about anybody. They go around with policemen who are supposed to secure the ordinary local people. See, the government is responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria. That's my little thing about it. Thank you.
All right. Okwe is speaking to us this morning from Kana.
The second headquarters of Kana local government, this is Daba.
All right, Daba. Okwe in Daba. Okwe, good morning to you, please.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Go on, continue. I listen to you. What's your take on our subject? Why are these gangs coming up in the rural areas?
Yes. That is what brought me to call you.
Yes, please.
And this is my first time I'm calling you.
Well, thank you.
Yes. This is as a result of the incompetency of the rulers. They use these boys to cover up their mistakes. And they don't allow any other person to tell them the truth about what they are doing. And most of them are not qualified to be a traditional ruler or anything in the community. So they employ these boys. They even empower them to commit all these atrocities against their incumbent aggressor, who is trying to take the post they are occupying now. That is why you see these mushroom boys growing up in the communities here and there. They are empowered by their chiefs. They control them and they tell them what to do. They even buy them bullets to go and oppress whom they feel is their own oppressor. Thank you. Let me stop there.
Thank you very much. Great. I've heard from you this morning. Now, interesting piece of information I just got, and I'm going to make mention of this because it's not the first time it's happening. There are reports that some of these, in quote, task force members who go around withholding vehicles or jumping into vehicles, accusing them of some traffic violation or the other. It's Monday, and it is not. It's not a pleasant way to start this conversation. And yet again, people are still asking, what exactly should we be looking out for? Who exactly should we make a report to when people jump into your cars and say there are some tax force, you don't have this, you don't have that, and they start to demand insane sums of money. And you don't blame people who pass away with their money because they probably don't know better. So once again, please be advised, first and foremost, do your bit and try to stay on the straight and narrow. That means drive properly, drive where you're meant to be. And if somebody, tries to get in touch or tries to, hold your vehicle for some flimsy reason, I wouldn't advise you to confront them, but please get a report to the nearest police station. Please. Magnus is in Rumodumaya. Magnus, good morning, please.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Actually, these two issues, the thing is, the Nigeria system is in shambles already. Because you will see uneducated hoodlums becoming councillors and occupying political positions, while the ones who are educated don't even have work or jobs to do. So the whole thing is really, really terrifying. Everybody is trying to dive into that direction. So you see, even the politicians, they are all corrupt. A lot of them are into these gangs, and they are gangsters. So seeing their members being maltreated or this, they will not say anything. They just allow everything to slide. And I also heard you saying something like you should make a formal complaint to the police. People are scared because you make a formal complaint to the police about a criminal and let's say a week or two, you see the person back on the street, your life is in danger. And when you, let's say you hide identity and make a complaint to the police, and they still call you to come and make a formal complaint, nobody is to be trusted, because even the police person, it is our citizens who are recruited into the police. Most of them are even gang members before they join the police. So you don't know who is real. If they are taking it serious, like all the reports people have been given before, they took it serious and then acted on it, people will feel more motivated to lay complaints like that. But this one, you lay complaint and nothing is happening. See the way they are behaving in here, they act like they own the world. If the government is really serious that they want to end what is happening in that area, it will stop. It's just that they are not yet serious. The whole political system is messed up. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Magnus. Magnus says it's a lack of political will that's led to these challenges. All right, okay. The strength of a local traditional ruler is not usually in numbers of police available. If a traditional ruler is the right one, is doing the right thing, and has the right people around him or her, just one pronouncement can do and undo. They don't even need to shout or make proclamations in public. One word in private, and people who are moving mad will discover by bitter experience that power pass power. It reminds me, it's an interesting comment. It reminds me about my good old state, talking about Edo State, years ago. And then there was something that happened in one of the areas where we used to be, and we heard, it was never mentioned in the news. We just heard that the chief, there's so many, there's Dionwale, one of the chiefs in those areas, said, if so and so persons who did so and so thing do not come to the palace in so and so time, blah 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 blah, their leg will bend. As a kid, that was very humorous to me. But if my memory serves me very well, I heard months later that they caught those people who did those things. They caught them. Now, maybe that's another conversation we'll probably have to get to on another day, but people always make these light comments and jest about, my state, Edo State, where very interesting things tend to happen. Things such as having, gates, right, in the compound where there are no doors or something like that. Weird things, but hey, you don't mess things up for those places. Whatever the reasons are for these insecurities, whatever the reasons why these groups are springing up, I think the Rivers people are right now saying enough is enough.